Boom. All right, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Crypto Convo, series where we cover exciting news and price action in the land of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and crypto-related stocks. You guys, the crypto markets have seen a pretty bounce over the past couple of days, and although this price action does appear promising, I do still remain a bit cautious as far as the short to medium term is concerned. So I do want to give you guys both my upside and downside potential price targets for a few of my favorite names across the sector today. So let's do exactly that. As always, we'll quickly go over each topic we're going to be discussing, and then we'll dive into each one individually. In front of us, you guys know the drill, is TradingView, where we will talk technicals and price targets once again on the following names today in this order, going down the watch list you can see on the right chaw. Kicking it off, of course, with who else but the king, Bitcoin. Got to establish Bitcoin right off the bat. Bitcoin currently sitting just under $36,000 at the time of recording. Currently in a nice short-term ascending channel, which I'm excited to dive into on the charts with you guys, talk over that. But also, again, talk that macro technical pattern that is currently still in play, which we do have to touch on when it comes to Bitcoin. So after we do kick off the conversation with Bitcoin on the charts, we will then move on to a few equities, but not just any equities, two equities that are very special to the Waves fam. Of course, those are Bitcoin miners, Riot Blockchain, and Marathon Digital Holdings. Riot actually today broke a very significant line of resistance, so I'm excited to cover Riot with you guys, talk about some potential that I see there. Tomorrow, once again, after we close it out with the Bitcoin miners, we will switch back to the crypto pure plays, of course, kicking it off with the king of the alts. Got to kick it off with Ethereum. After Ether, we will move on to ChainLink. ChainLink, of course, also holds a very special place in my heart. First investing focused YouTube video I ever made. And then we will close it out with arguably my single favorite play in the entire cryptocurrency market from both a technical and fundamental perspective, and that is EOS. Okay, so those are all the names we're going to be taking a look at on the chart today. In terms of news, I do have a single article that I want to share with you guys. This article is a little older. I believe it's 5 days old as of now, but it's titled Andreessen Horowitz, which is arguably and definitely in my opinion, the single greatest venture capital fund in the entire world. So Andreessen Horowitz launches $2.2 billion crypto fund and is radically optimistic despite price fluctuations. Okay, so we'll kick it off with Bitcoin on the charts, kick it off with some technicals as far as Bitcoin is concerned. After we touch on Bitcoin, we will move into this article, really establish that long-term fundamental bull argument for Bitcoin. Again, you guys, even though I've been a bit technically bearish on the price action of Bitcoin over the past few weeks, even getting to like months at this point, I'm still a long-term bull, you guys. I love Bitcoin. I love what the cryptocurrency market is doing. I love the future of finance that the crypto market is paving the way for like finance 2.0 and the future of the global financial systems, a borderless currency and just borderless internet in many rights, the next iteration of the internet. So again, just really focus on those long-term fundamentals, and that's why I love articles like this, especially when I do bring into question the potential of short-term downside price action. Okay, so after Bitcoin on the charts, we will move into this article, quickly touch on some key points here. And then I do actually have a content recommendation for you guys, which is a little rare, but I just listened to this morning. This was just released today as of recording this once again. But this is a podcast with half of the founders, 50% of Andreessen Horowitz, with Mark Andreessen, this Making the Future with Patrick O'Shaughnessy, Invest Like the Best. Okay, so I'll talk a little bit more about this after we finish this article, but this is a very good podcast. Really recommend you guys listen to this. Appreciate it, of course, if you guys watch the rest of this first, and I do also appreciate it if you would give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it today, or if you're bullish on the crypto sector long term. I mean, short term, once again, still in the air. I know a lot of you guys, I would say as far as the Waves fam goes, as far as this audience goes, I think it's undisputed that we're all long-term fundamentally bullish on Bitcoin. Years from now, Bitcoin will inevitably, in my opinion at least, reach $100,000. But please let me know down below, just in one word, bull or bear, on the short to medium-term time frame of Bitcoin as well, because I'm very curious as to what you guys think in terms of the price direction, not just the price direction, once again, just price action, strictly price action, in terms of Bitcoin and the greater cryptocurrency markets in general. Okay, so again, give the video a like, really means a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, want to catch more content like this. And of course, check out the complete portfolio daily newsletter. 15 bones a month. First link down in the description if you want to know exactly how I'm trading these cryptocurrencies, when I'm accumulating, when I'm taking some profits, not just cryptos, every single position in my entire portfolio, probably 50 to 60 positions, if not more at any given time, that I do alter every trading day during market hours. And along with every update, I do send out a complimentary email newsletter, rationalizing my thoughts, throwing some charts in there, throwing some real-time price targets in there. Once again, during market hours. So like every trading day during market hours, I do update this. I do send out the newsletter. So if you guys are interested in that at all, once again, 15 bucks a month really means a lot. You also get every week of Sunday Stock Watch, because I'm no longer posting those as public videos. Those are now private links sent to the newsletter. And again, I'm still working on that, but they've been good so far. We're 2 in, going for the third time's the charm this week. So again, it really means a lot if you guys check this out. Do put a lot of work into this, and yeah, if not, no worries though. So let's dive into this chart. Again, we'll kick it off with Bitcoin on the charts, then move into some fundamentals just to mix it up a little bit, and then just close it out with all these charts below. Okay, so Bitcoin. We'll kick it off short term. We are on the 4-hour candles as of right now. So kick it off with the shorter to medium term, and then we'll zoom out and take a look at that massive head and shoulders pattern that is technically still in play. Okay, so Bitcoin, as far as the short term is concerned, is currently in a pretty nice uptrend following the break of this very steep line of resistance on the downtrend beginning on June 15th. You can see here, broke above it, came back down, used that previous line of resistance as new support, TA 101. You see that everywhere. Started this nice little ascending channel that we are currently seeing. We are turning down, so 4-hour Stokes have been pretty extended for a little while. They just crossed over, which usually does mean we will see some short-term downside. How much? I don't really know. So the two short-term, obviously, the two very short-term price targets that I have for Bitcoin are going to be either the top side of this ascending channel or the bottom side. If it's the top side short-term, this will take us to, again, like June 30th. If over the course of the next day or two we see this, that could take us up to about $38,000. Downside, if we do break below, straight up, if we break below about 33.9, so if we hit 33.8, I'm going to be extremely convinced that we are, again, because we have set a lower low at that point, that we will come down to test the bottom side around $32,000 if we touch this on June 30th. And then if we break below 32K at this point in time, then I do think that we will kind of stick to this downtrend that we're still currently in from a technical perspective once again, and probably come down to this range that I've been calling for the better part of a month or so now, okay? So that said, that's the downside. But again, if we do come up here, if we can break 38.5, I do think we have a good shot at shooting up. And actually, if we do, let's just go to the daily candles right now. If we do break $40,000, the reason for that is because we would break this area. If we break, I guess if you want to get real technical, we would have to break about $41,000, $41.5 just to play it safe, because we have to break, in my opinion, for me to actually truly flip bullish on the short to medium term time horizon. I'd say more medium term, because short term it's going to take a little bit to get up here, I'd imagine. We will have to break this area right here, these previous ceilings around $41,000. So if Bitcoin can close a daily candle at this point in time above $41,000, then I will reassess all of my price targets, and I will be convinced that we will see more short-term upside. If that happens, what's the price target? The first price target is going to be this previous area of support, because once again, previous support will likely act as new resistance. That's TA 101 right there. Let's get rid of that because that looks a little whack. So best case scenario for Bitcoin, if this breaks, if we do break above 41,000, would be to come up here. If this takes us to the end of July, if we start ripping over the course of July, that could take us to our previous all-time high at around $65,000, okay? So of course, you guys, when we set these price targets, when I set these price targets, they're all completely reliant on when and where we strike these trend lines. So again, you guys always go into your own charts, always go into TradingView for yourself, create these trend lines for yourself, and just keep an eye on them, okay? And once again, keep a close eye. The one level that I'm looking at right now is, of course, as far as the short term is concerned, this ascending channel right here. If we break above, bullish. If we break below, bearish. And if we do break above $41,000, that will flip me very, very bullish on the medium term time horizon, okay? So that is Bitcoin. Let's move on to the good old BTC miners, right? Once again, breaking out today. So So significant, okay, you guys, and actually closed above this. But let's touch on this article first before we move into the charts, and then once again, we'll just close it out talking strictly technicals. Key points. The Silicon Valley venture capital firm just announced a new $2.2 billion cryptocurrency-focused fund. Quote, "We believe that the next wave of computing innovation will be driven by crypto," Andreessen Horowitz partners Katie Hahn and Chris Dixon said. Andreessen's first crypto-focused fund was launched 3 years ago during the last bear market, now known as Crypto Winter. So again, you guys, I'll just shout this out right now before we finish off that article and move back into the charts. Listen to this, you guys, making the future. Again, Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz, the two founders of Andreessen Horowitz, once again, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many individuals I respect a lot, is the single greatest, arguably, venture capital firm of all time. Because it's currently the best, in my opinion, once again. And because it's around right now, because it's the best right now, it's arguably the best of all time. So, best of all time, the GOAT, is Andreessen Horowitz, and this is a great podcast as well. Invest Like the Best with Patrick O'Shaughnessy, by no means an ad, but I just listened to this morning. I mean, perfect timing, right, guys? I was super pumped to share this article with you guys, and then this came out. I was like, that's perfect. So go listen to Invest Like the Best with Patrick O'Shaughnessy, Mark Andreessen, making the future. Definitely worth the time. Again, you guys, especially if you're interested in cryptos and EVs and biotechs, again, revolutionary sectors. That is the real reason that I created this channel, that I like this channel. Of course, I am a trader. I'm a technical analyst, but I am interested in where the world's going, the direction of the world, in a better world, okay? At least I remain optimistic on that. So, you guys, listen to this. It's very inspiring and also very educating. So that's the best. I mean, edutainment right there. That's what I do my best to do as well. So hopefully you guys are getting entertained by some of this content, all right? That's it. Let's move on to just a few articles here just to remind us one more time before diving back into the charts. Andreessen Horowitz is launching a multi-billion-dollar fund to invest in a volatile ecosystem it's betting will be as influential as the internet. Bold words. The Silicon Valley venture capital firm founded by Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz announced its new $2.2 billion cryptocurrency-focused fund on Thursday. It plans to deploy that capital across blockchain and digital asset startups. Quote, "The size of this fund speaks to the size of the opportunity before us. Crypto is not only the future of finance, but as with the internet in the early days, is poised to transform all aspects of our lives," Katie Hahn and Chris Dixon, partners who run Andreessen's cryptocurrency group, said in a blog post. So again, you guys, focus on the long term. These guys, like Andreessen Horowitz, venture capital game, and that's a lot. Like over the course of just doing this and talking to you guys about the crypto space, I've always talked about how plays like RIOT, plays like Mara, plays like Bitcoin, these are venture capital investments. And although I do trade them, once again, I'm a trader. I'm trying to maximize and optimize my profits. I do still hold fairly large positions. I guess it's all relative, of course. But I do still hold somewhat significant positions in all of these. RIOT and Mara I have weaned off on because, of course, there are areas in the market right now that many of you know I'm currently more bullish on and I'm more confident in as far as the short to medium term is concerned. But Bitcoin, Ether, my crypto portfolio is still, still pretty expansive. It's still large for me. Once again, it's all subjective and relative. But I'm very, very confident in the performance of not only Bitcoin, but on the entirety of the sector. Once again, these three plays right here, my favorite plays aside from Bitcoin, and I'm very confident in the value that all of these companies and projects will provide to the world 5, 10, 15, 20 centuries from now, okay? So just make that very clear once again. Let's talk RIOT blockchain. RIOT. Right here, you guys, so this massive line of resistance that you can see here that spans all the way back to mid-February, since RIOT peaked around $80 on February 17th. Since then, RIOT has, as many of you know, been experienced and bled out on. RIOT has been in a long-term downtrend. And just today, for the first time since this touch point back in mid-April, we broke above that. So today, RIOT gapped straight through that bad boy. As soon as it gapped up, you can see it went crazy, came all the way up to $40, closed the day around $37.80. At exactly $37.88. I do believe it's down a bit in after hours, but aside from the fact, it did technically close the day, which is very telling, above this line of resistance. So now the question is, will RIOT hold? RIOT is currently also in a pretty solid ascending channel. This line of resistance on this ascending channel right here is a little whack. I had this drawn out, and I just don't think it's realistic, if I'm being honest. But I do think that it's very likely that if RIOT does see another green day, if we do Bitcoin again, the crypto markets are pulling back literally at the time of recording. So that's the thing about the crypto markets right now, you guys. Again, a lot of volatility in kind of a small range, but it's of course very dependent on how Bitcoin and the greater equity markets perform. If Riot does see some upside, I do think it will test the previous line of support. Very, very strong line of support here. You can see it play multiple times. So once we broke below that, that's when we really fell off a cliff. So I do think this previous line of significant support will come into play as a new line of equally significant resistance. If this happens by July 8th, over the course of the next 2 weeks, say if Riot rips up tomorrow, July 1st price target, that would bring us up to 45 bucks. Downside, if we break back below this line of resistance, if this is kind of a fake out, because I mean, you guys know, especially with plays like Riot and stuff, we've seen so many fake outs over the course of this bull market, and I would not be surprised to see it break back below. If that's the case, I do think it will find support around here, down here, around just, again, July 1st, July 2nd, around $30, $31. If we do break back below $30, then I still do think we do need to revert to the mean and come back down to about 15 bucks. I just realized I did not show you guys the massive head and shoulders. So let's do that real quick. Again, kind of justify this $20,000 price target. As I've been saying so much, you guys, reversion to the mean. That happens in every single boom bust cycle. And I'm not saying, again, Bitcoin's not over. The fundamentals are so strong, they could not be stronger. But that's just technicals. That's just the game. I've seen this happen. I've seen this play out in real time. I've experienced this so many times over the course of my trading career. And I do think that at some point, again, maybe it's not this week, maybe it's not next week, maybe it happens in a couple weeks, we need to revert to the mean and revisit the initial high of this rally, which is either $24,000 or just under 25K or $20,000. If we do break below about 24.5, if we break below $20,000, I think $20,000 is the horizon, 24K, sorry. But as I've been saying, you guys, massive head and shoulders pattern playing out. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. I do still think that this needs to be resolved because it's like the most textbook head and shoulders pattern I've ever seen. Would truly be surprised if this does not resolve itself. On top of that, once again, we do need to revert to the mean and revisit the initial high of the current rally. Okay, so 25K, as I've been saying for the past month now, is the area where I'm personally comfortable accumulating. But I do think Bitcoin, in all reality, will trade in a range from $20,000 to $25,000 for a while, maybe 25 to 30K for a while, and that will be the true reaccumulation time and true capitulation prior to the resumption of the rally. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Again, let's move on to Mara. Riot, I didn't really close out my thoughts there, but same thing. Once again, reversion to the mean would take us to right here. So technically, this is the initial high of Riot right here. You could say this is as well. I mean, this is actually technically the initial high at the beginning of December, but I'll consider this to be the initial high right here at around $15, like $15.50. Personally, I'm a massive buyer of Riot at around, I'll just say even $20. Back here, I did purchase a little bit of Riot when we really bottomed out around 20. But where I'm truly a buyer is around 15, 16 bucks. I'll say that right now. Mara is pretty similar. Riot and Mara, of course, always do tend to move somewhat, in unison. So let's take a look if these charts freaking load. So Mara, currently in a similar situation to Riot in this nice ascending channel. This ascending channel that Mara is currently in is definitely a bit cleaner, is a little more organic, and again, Mara, short-term price target, if we come up tomorrow, 37.80, come down, is going to be 26, like 26, 27 bucks, 26.75 if you want to get real specific. Again, you guys, go into your charts, draw these for yourselves, keep an eye on them, especially if you're personally trading them. If Mara breaks above, just conservatively, over the coming week, 40 bucks, that makes me bullish. If we do break below 27 bucks, 27.50, that will make me bearish. And again, downside price target for Mara is going to be to revert to the mean, and that's about $1 below, buck below Riot at around 14.50. So Mara is going to be about 14 to 15. Riot is going to be about 15 to 16. Market cap around that area is going to be pretty darn similar. So again, always look at the market cap when trying to dictate fundamental fundamental, I guess, fair valuation, I'll say. Okay, upside price target, if we do break above like 40 bucks over the coming week, I do think Mara will use this this is a very strong line of resistance and support for Mara. So again, support, resistance. This is a very, very significant trend line that once we do see a breakout, I do think will come back into play. If, like, best case scenario, pretty similar by the end of the month, August 1st or July, I guess, because the first trading day of August is the 2nd, August 2nd. is going to be a new all-time high for Mara. If this plays out, once again, you guys, it's all dependent on when these trend lines are hit. If we see this at the beginning of August, that would take us to a new all-time high at $62 for Marathon Digital. All right, so a lot of potential here. Of course, you guys, we will cross these bridges when we come to them. So again, if you're still watching, if you happen not to be subscribed, we'll definitely stay tuned to these, and of course in the newsletter as well and whatnot. Okay, so let's move back into the crypto pure plays. Ethereum did perfectly test a pretty significant line of resistance on the current downtrend beginning on June 7th. So touch point here, touch point here. This is a short to medium term downtrend. Of course, we are in a descending channel. So descending channel right here. Let's take this, I guess this touch point. So this is technically, I will be more conservative and use this because I don't like counting those, okay? I don't like those random wicks down. I don't like counting those when I'm drawing trend lines, okay? So this is Ethereum's current descending channel. Of course, it's no surprise that we did just bounce off around here around like 2250. So at this point, the only likely scenario is that we come, again, you guys, just from a logical perspective, this is a descending channel. Now that we've tested the top, it only makes sense to me that we're probably back on our way down to test the line of support on this descending channel. Now, if we break above that, which is very possible, so like if Ether at this point closes a 4-hour candle above $2,300, that would be a technical breakout, and that would make me bullish. But at the time of recording, that's not the case, so I do have to be short-term bearish, and I do believe Ether is probably going to come down. Again, 4th of July, I think I said a few days ago, maybe a week ago at this point, I do call for a $25,000 Bitcoin on 4th of July. We'll see if that plays out. I don't know. But Ether, if we come down to test this line of support on the descending channel on the 4th of July, that would take us to just below $1,500. Personally, I'm pretty damn comfortable buying Ethereum at $1,500. Ultimate price target for Ether is once again to revert to the mean. Let's go to, actually, we'll close it out. ETH, Link, and EOS. We'll just stick to the daily. Oh my gosh. We'll just stick to the daily candles because these are all pretty macro plays at this point, okay? So ETH, again, descending channel right here. Why do I keep doing that? Poor Doge is around 25 cents, so not bad. Doge is holding up impressively well, I'll say that. So, but again, price target for Ether is going to be about $13.50 to come down and revisit this initial high. That acted as a pretty significant ceiling. Of course, this is right around Ether's 2017 high, just around like $1,400-$1,500. So, of course, this area did act as resistance. It would only make sense to me that this previous ceiling will act as a new floor. Once again, prior to the true capitulation, prior to the true reaccumulation phase, and then prior to the overall rally, because I do think Ether at some point in time will see $10,000. That's almost a fact in my mind as well, just with all the infrastructure and just everything being built around Ether. So Bitcoin, as I've said many times in the past, is digital gold. Ether is Internet 2.0. There's so many things being built on top of Ether. So it is that base layer for so many projects that are being developed once again in this ecosystem, in the blockchain ecosystem. And it's digital oil. In order to build stuff on Ethereum, you need Ether. So it's the currency within that ecosystem of Ether. Okay. So that said, again, just from a pure technical perspective, I do think that we will come down to 1350, and I'm going to be pumped when Bitcoin comes down to these prices, when Ether comes down to these prices, because that gives me the opportunity to bag up for the next bull run. Okay, so that's Ether. Let's move on to Link. I'm not even going to talk upside price targets for Ether right now, just because we are still, once again, still in that downtrend. Take these day by day, you guys. Link also currently in a downtrend, but there is more upside short-term potential here, because I do think Link will likely come up to test the line of resistance on this current downtrend. Okay, so I guess you could say this is kind of Link's current downtrend, but in this case, Link did just see a breakout. Okay, so this is, if you use this, there's two lines here. You guys see what I'm doing. But, I do stand a little more by this one. So, I do think Link can come up here in the short term to test the line of resistance on this current downtrend. Sorry, you guys. Sorry, I just mixed it up, you guys. I kind of looked at it and felt like I should just check that out, see what it looked like. If you go by that last one, we broke out. But this one, as I'm just rambling, it makes more sense to me, okay? So I should have just stuck to my guns. But I do think Link short-term can come up to test the line of resistance here. If this happens July 1st, July 2nd, that'll take us up to about $22, which is a nice 10% gain as of right now. But again, you guys, I do still think Link, it's news to no one that all of these are still in technical short-term bear trends, okay? So that's very clear. We need to make that very clear. All of these still in technical bear trends, aside from maybe RIOT after today's price action, okay? But other than that, they are all still bearish trend. All right, so Link reversion to the mean is going to be around here. This is, I mean, I wouldn't say this is necessarily a reversion to the mean, but this is just an area where Link spent a lot of time. You see multiple bottoms here. So I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, as far as long term, I'm super comfortable buying Link around 20 bucks. I already have a fairly significant Link position. I bought the majority of my Link around $1. So that's important to keep in mind as well. And yeah, I do still think Link could see more downside. Absolute downside target for Link is going to be 13 bucks. If we see a $13 Link, I'm just going to load up on my position even more. Even if, again, I bought Ether. I bought so much Ether at like 35 bucks, okay? But I'm still comfortable buying Ether at 1,300 bucks, okay? So that's important to keep in mind. Again, you guys still playing long game here, still dollar cost averaging. I don't do that personally. Once again, I'm trying to optimize profits. But if you're a long-term trader, if you love the fundamentals of the sector, if you see promise in the direction of where the sector is going, then just dollar cost average, buy a little bit every day, okay? So once again, not financial advice. That's just, I mean, that is what time and time again, what every successful investor, as far as long-term goes, will tell you, okay? DCA, dollar cost average. So downside Link, I'm a massive buyer at Link at $13. If Link does break above $22, just call it 22 bucks at this point in time, that will flip me bearish, and I do think that it's very possible we come up to test previous support, new resistance as resistance once again. This, if crypto flips straight up bullish, like RIOT, Mara, Bitcoin, again, Bitcoin could come up to like 50, 60K again, like revisit these previous highs. That would take us up to about 45 bucks on August 1st, end of July, okay? So EOS, the only play on the watch, is currently up right now, which I love to see because EOS did technically break out, which you also love to see. Just added to the EOS position yesterday and today, actually. So the past 2 days, panning out well so far. So shout out to the newsletter group once again. EOS broke out of a pretty significant line of resistance on the current downtrend beginning way back at the end of May. So this spanned over a month now, almost exactly a month since the downtrend began. EOS did break out. We're seeing very, very little volume, which is what I don't like to see. I do want to see more volume here. But considering EOS got smoked so much harder than so many plays, again, EOS, you guys, go watch the solo analysis I did on EOS a couple months back, talking about like everything that's going on with EOS. The project Voice is launching later this month, or I'm sorry, in July. So it's coming up. Like, they just raised a massive round with Peter Thiel and so many renowned investors in the space. Block One, which is the parent company behind EOS. Okay, so Block One, EOS, Voice, like this new venture fund. They're launching a new exchange, I believe, called Bullish. So it's super on brand. I love this. I love everything going on with EOS. Is in a technical breakout. I do think that at the very least, this is kind of the trend line I'm looking at right here. We'll do that right there. So short term, I do think EOS has a decent shot, in all honesty, coming back up to $6 from where we're at now at $4. You're looking at a potential 40-50% price increase, which is very, very exciting, especially considering the rest of the market does still look a little bit suspect, okay? So EOS upside price target is going to be about $6. Downside, we've already reached it. That's why I have been accumulating EOS over anything else. Again, shout out newsletter group. Been accumulating EOS. Have a fat bag of EOS right now, and I'm not afraid to bag up even more, okay? Because I'm very, very bullish on EOS, once again, technically and fundamentally right now. So we'll call it there, you guys. Please let me know in the comments down below what your favorite play in the crypto sector is. It does not have to. Let me know what your favorite crypto pure play is, along with your favorite crypto equity, favorite Bitcoin miner. You guys know the drill there. And then what's the question I asked in the beginning? Up or down? Where are we going, you guys? Up or down? One word. Is the crypto market going up or down in the next 7 days? We'll keep it easy there. So I'll catch you guys downstairs in the comments. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace, guys.